Oh, it's raining. What a way to start a video.
It is, in fact. All right, Stu, welcome. Welcome to my kitchen.
Hey, I'm happy to be literally welcomed here. This is our second time in this kitchen. We didn't quite make it the first time, but we fought hard.
All right, these people want fish. All right, so we're here in Plate Up. The reason why is because...
Wait, I need bluefish, chef. I need bluefish.
What the heck is
Oh, God.
Oh, we need blue... Oh, they're... Okay, gotcha. All right, so we're here in Plate Up, and the reason why is because today's topic is about burnout. And as somebody who I think has recently experienced it, I wanted to get your take on what that looks like and what we can do when we're feeling it.
So, yeah, I mean, I'd say I've been burned out once or twice in my life. Recently, for sure. I took a long break from my channel, absolutely. Oh, I need another blue. Oh, no.
All right, we're good. Don't worry. Yeah, so I guess the place I wanted to start with this was, what is your relationship with the game? Like how long have you been in it? How long have you when did you join in Pokemon TCG?
So I got into Pokemon TCG probably like right after the peak of Zard. So it was still really strong. Shenpao was one of the top decks for a very brief moment.
Gotcha. So
it was pretty fun coming into it, but Dragapult did exist when I came in. So for me as a new player, I came from playing almost every other card game there possibly was. You know, I played everything to Chaotic back in the day. And so when I got to Pokemon, I was a little confused by some of the mechanics. You know, prize cards make the game very slow compared to other card games. You know, most card games are over in a couple of turns, where Pokemon actually has a full-fledged game, and that was exciting to me. That actually gave me a ton of passion for the game.
Gotcha.
Where I think I lost it though was in like actually making content for it, which feels not right, but that's where I think I lost it at first.
Gotcha. You didn't grow up with it. You didn't like collect them as a kid?
No, I grew up with Yu-Gi-Oh! Then I got into Magic. We played all sorts of card games. But for Pokemon, I was a full-fledged grown adult getting into Pokemon TCG. Say that one with your chest out. No, really, though, I love it. It's a great game.
Yeah. And so much so that you started making content for it. You had a channel that was busting for a little bit.
Just put out a deck list this morning. Back on the grind.
I'm very happy to see that. I'm very happy to see that you're back in this game to whatever extent that looks like. But
well, and I think that's an important thing to talk about. What extent does that look like is probably the factor that burns you out or doesn't, right?
Right. Yeah,
for me,
you good?
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I definitely came into this, into the content creation, knowing that I'm the type of person that can burn out. Like whether I have ADHD, autism, some combination of both, I'm not really sure. But I know that I am the type that is prone to burnout. So I was very careful with that when I started my channel.
Yeah, and so what did that look like for you as far as personal boundaries set? Because that's what you're really doing. You're setting boundaries for what you're willing to sacrifice in your life to make it happen.
Yeah, so what that looked like for me was I was never going to make a content schedule. Like a lot of people have like, oh, I'm going to make 2 streams a week, 2 videos a week, 2 shorts a week, and whatever. Like, I didn't come into it with any of that. I'm like, I'm going to work at my own pace. If I don't feel like making a video, I'm not going to make a video. And I've so far kept to that, right? Like people will be like, hey, it's been a while since their last video. Like, I'm like, yeah, it's going to be that way.
Yeah, I think that's obviously not a downside to approach it with either, because you're doing great. Your community's fantastic, continuing to grow as a channel. I feel like it's funny that you mentioned, you didn't set a schedule, because if you go look at the online receipts, I stopped posting the week after I said I was going to post 2 times a week.
Oh, yeah, and that's
right?
when you start to lose your love for it. That's when you be like, all right, now this feels like a job, and I don't know if you know much about me, but like I am as anti-work as they come. I believe people were not made to work. So the moment that this starts feeling like a job for me is the moment I'm going to stop loving it, right? I love the Pokemon TCG. I want to keep loving it, and so I'm going to treat it like a hobby and not a job.
Yeah, I think that's what it really has to be at the end of the day. And I also feel like there's a lot to be said about it's not just a schedule or just like creating content that can get the best of you. I think for me, a huge factor of it was just life was kicking my ass, right? I had, my AC went out, my car broke down, we had a flood from a washing machine in our hallway, right? There was just so much that hit in such a small span that you do as a creator have to look at yourself and say, this is not as important as getting my home back together right now, right? So when stuff like that happens, it's really easy to get burned out. For me, I wish I wouldn't have allowed that to be as big of an out as I used it, right?
Yeah.
And it's probably fair to say it's an out. Like I literally had to replace a whole AC unit, vehicle, washer machine. Like there's a lot of shit that happened, but there's a difference in saying like I can't do this or I just don't want to do this right now, right?
Yeah, and sometimes you just don't have the headspace for it, right? Like
yeah.
There have been days when I just don't make content because I don't feel like it. And it's like, I'd rather hop in a game of Destiny or two. It's like I want to change it up a bit. And that's I want to stress that is completely fine to step away from the game if you're not feeling it. And like the moment that you're sitting there, be like, oh, I need to hit 100 on the battle pass if I want to get those golden switch cards. Like that's the moment you're gonna start to resent the game, and that's what leads to burnout is resentment.
I think a lot of people felt that just because of the meta. As you were asking earlier, what's the worst meta the game's ever had? I mean, I would say that we're still in it, right? Yeah. I think so many people, I was talking to someone earlier today, they got burnt out with just playing the ladder because of the sheer amount of Gardevoir and Dragapults they've had to play.
Yeah, and I do also get tired of seeing the same deck over and over again. Like back when Charizard was in its prime, I got so bored of playing it, and that has kind of coalesced into the haters guides that I've been doing recently, is because I do get frustrated with the meta, and it's just like I need to release that somehow. I need to turn that into what is this? Let's keep it simple.
I think we just do tipping. Let's keep the fish simple.
Let's keep it simple. It's coalesced into becoming the haters guides because there are times when I sit there and I'm like, dang, I'm really tired of playing Guardy over and over and over again. And it's just like we're getting 3 more years of that, by the way. It's not great. It's not a great meta. I won't say that it's the worst meta we've ever had, because I was here during the Mew VMAX era and the Lugia V-Star era.
Lugia was interesting, yeah.
Were you here during its prime, though?
With Arcops just ripping? Yeah, I want to say I was.
When it first dropped, like Silver Tempest.
Oh, no. I was past Silver Tempest, yeah. But it was still getting play at tournaments.
Yeah, it was still getting play, but it was even more oppressive when it first dropped because it didn't have any counters. All right, let's see. But
I do feel like the meta got stale for a while, but also I think like not playing the same game on repeat can also be a really healthy way to avoid burnout. Like obviously where I'm played up right now talking about this, I think that's pretty poignant in itself, but I spoke about in my video this morning, I said, I'm going to start doing VGC and singles content. And if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it.
Yeah, and that is another point that I'd like to stress is that you should never let your audience dictate what you do, right? Because you will, like, if you don't love it yourself, they won't love it. They will notice. They will pick up on that. I look at some other content creators, right? Like, let me not throw shade on anybody directly, but I know of a big content creator in the YouTube space who very frequently does burnout videos where he talks about how he doesn't love this game anymore and how it's all about, it like I picked up on that a long time ago. I knew that this particular TCG tuber stopped loving the game years ago and only does it because the audience wants it. Like if you want to switch it up at this point, like you're losing out on money. At this point, it's your livelihood, and it's very obvious to me that he no longer loves the game, and that's sad to see, right? As a fan of the content, it's sad to see when someone loses their love for it, and I stop watching their content when that happens.
Yeah, I think that you also touched on a really important topic as far as livelihood gets attached to it at a certain point. If you are a quality enough YouTuber and you can make a living off of a channel, that's a dream for so many people.
Yeah, but it's also a
burnout.
Nightmare.
Go ahead.
It's also a nightmare if you don't love it.
yeah, it would be a nightmare if you don't love it. I think it's also a like gating nightmare as well. Like I think, people like me who get into the space and are having a ton of fun doing it, meeting all these awesome people, joining creators cook-offs, there's a daunting mountain in front of you that says, am I wasting my time? Right? And that's not to say that content creation is dumb or anyone shouldn't do it because they're not going to get massive. Everyone has the chance to get massive. That's what's scary. Right?
Yeah.
You always have this thing in the back of your head that's like, man, what if this video pops off and like this is what I'm going to start doing? And then you start to second guess those questions and you start to ask, maybe I'm just not going to get to that point, And I think, oh, dishwasher, I didn't even see you upgraded this.
I did it like the last possible second.
Yes. Oh, we don't have the money for it. Oh, God.
We're poor.
But that's something I experienced for sure, was asking myself, is this worth doing? Like, am I doing this and using my time properly? Of course, speaking of livelihoods and stuff, I also went through the process of changing jobs and entering the job market during all of this. So that definitely added to mental stress. But I think you got to get past that idea of like, I'm doing this because I'd love to do it as a job. Of course, you'd love to do YouTube as a job, but like, if you look at it that way, the burnout hits you 10x faster.
For sure.
It has to come from passion. That's where views come.
Yeah, and dude, I think you're like the king of segues, because like you actually touched on the thing I wanted to ask you next is, at what point did you realize you were starting to burn out? Like, can you describe what that looks like?
Yeah, for me, it was, let's take the week before the burnout event, we'll call it.
Sure.
I was, doing normal stuff. If something would have happened, fix it in my regular life, move on. When I noticed the burnout was really starting to be a thing was when, like I mentioned earlier, I was just able to cop out of making content because something was happening in my life. Which, like, dude, my whole life, if something's happening, you just multitask and do something else at the same time, right? Like, we're human beings. We can do a lot with a little bit of time. The burnout, though, made it to where I didn't believe I could do a lot with a little bit of time, right? Yeah. And it's not as much of, man, I just don't even want to play this game. I think it's really like you start to doubt yourself and your ability to do it, right? Like, is my content even really that good? Like, I'm not that focused on it right now anyway. And of course I wasn't that focused on it. I was mentally stressing out about so many things. That doesn't mean it's bad content. That means I was in my head about my content.
Right. Yeah, I know what that looks like. Trust me. But where was I gonna go next with this? I come from Destiny, right? It's a game that's consumed the last 11 years of my life. I actually was a Destiny YouTuber before I became a TCG YouTuber. But
the origins,
yeah. So you can probably find my old channel. I think it's called like Iron Huskies or something like that. It got like 50 subs. It's got like 8 videos, and there's nowhere near the quality that it is now. But I struggled to make content for that game because I go through very frequent burnout phases with that game, right? And everyone in that community really does, right? And the community managers kind of tell you that at the same time. They're just like, if you don't love this game, play something else. Like, come back to it when you do love it. And that's a great philosophy. That's a great way to go about it. If you don't love the game, switch it up. I have a buddy right now who is making Destiny content. And he's like, he messaged me the other day and he's just like, I feel really bad because my 2 most successful videos on my channel are Destiny videos, and I don't really feel like I love the game right now. And it's hard, right? That's hard because like he wants to be a successful YouTuber. He wants to make money doing what he likes to do. But if you don't love the game, like how can you sustain that? How do you keep going with that? And really my advice to him was, change it up then, make other content. It doesn't matter if it's the most successful content on your channel. People will find you eventually. It'll be a much slower grind, but it's better for you in the long run if you just find the thing that you do like.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, speaking on that, I didn't stop consuming and playing Pokemon games. I simply went to VGC and singles and just did my own stuff without recording it, without, making it in a way that I was going to push it out to other people. And that brought me a lot more enjoyment. And I think I was really close to saying maybe I just stopped doing all the TCG stuff. But the issue is, like, I do love the game, right? It's not an issue. That's the benefit is, like, if you love the game, you can always come back to it. The thing for me was, like, in my head, I was having this question almost. And I'm not even saying it's a fair question to have, but I was asking myself, am I coming back too late? Right? Did I miss my window to come back? No. It's my channel. It's my content. There is no window. There's no timer. There's absolutely none of that. It's like people say all the time, like, you are the only person that remembers your embarrassing moments. That's how I feel about burnout on YouTube. Is like, you're the one generating all of it, right? And now I'll say there are times where burnout gets much, much faster when the community of card games is how it is, right? Most people just love to see a deck list and shit on it because they think that they're the best player ever. And it's like, okay, well, interesting that you're gonna come in that hot on a YouTube channel or on a Discord or a Reddit post, but like, card games are not easy games to keep your passion for because the community is toxic.
Yeah, and yeah, like as YouTubers, I'm sure you've gotten those negative comments before too. I sure have. It's obviously kind of demoralizing to get them, and it definitely does reduce your enjoyment of the game if you see somebody hop in your comment section and be like, hey, you're kind of a trash player, actually. Like, these misplays, like, no person worth their salt should be making these misplays. And it's just like, okay, but like, consider the fact that we are making a new deck list every 3 days, right? We're experiencing an entirely new archetype every 3 days. Oh crap, let me get you this fish. Hold on.
Yeah, you're good. We got time.
I'm here getting lost in the sauce. But yeah, like, we're making new decks every 3 days, playing in ways that we're not familiar with, and in a way that is part of how we fight the burnout, right? Like, we are experiencing new ways of playing, keeping it fresh, and we're not familiar with these decks. We're not familiar with, like, maybe you play Tinglu EX every day. Maybe you've been playing it every day for the last 8 months.
What is this example?
And then I hop on, I take Tinglu EX, and I fumble it hard, right? I don't know how to play that card. You might, but I'm a Uxie Spread player. I'm a Marnie's Grimmsnarl player. I don't play that. I don't play Tinglu. I don't play Control. I'm actually terrible at Control.
Control is really hard, but also, hey, quick shout out to CPU. That man's the GOAT of it.
Oh yeah, for sure. He plays at such a high level, man. He's a very good player.
His videos, so this is another thing that I would recommend people who are going through burnout. During my burnout, I watched more videos from people like CPU than I had ever done in the past. Because it's such a different way to play the game that it was a relieving thing to watch for me. Like, oh, hey, this guy is not at all looking at like a meta deck to play. He's looking at how to break down all the meta, and the way that he makes videos is super educational, right? And I think like people diversify in ways that we're often too small-minded to see. Mm-hmm. Like, it's so easy to think, okay, I'm a deck list channel. I need to make a deck, play 3 games, post it to YouTube. But like, some of my favorite videos of his are just informational, educating people on how Control's working in the meta.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that type of content. It's just like, because I can get deck list videos from anybody. But when people change it up like that, like, for example, one of my favorite YouTubers is 6TCG, right? Great guy, great content. He does a lot of educational content where he's just like explaining, like, this is how you register for locals. This is how how you should be deck building for locals and things like that. And that's the type of content that I'm really interested in because, like, that's something that I'm trying to do, right? I'm here prepping for Worlds next year. So this is content that is really relevant to me, and it's different from your average deck list video. It's very refreshing to see people like that just diversify their content, which is actually another very good segue to what I was going to ask you next. Was going to be so that's typically how I prevent my burnout. But what, like, now that you're back, now that you're making content again, have you changed your approach to make sure that you don't burn out again?
Yeah, I mean, it's too early to say I've changed it. I've made one video, right? But I plan to change it, right? The goal in my head is to no longer have an idea of I want to get X amount of videos out, but to, I guess, create content more reactionarily, because it feels more organic and it feels more fun to say, oh, Chef was just gassing up the Mewtwo deck. Awesome. Let's wake up, put a deck list together, get a game, make a video, right? That type of reactionary content to me feels a lot more fluid and healthy than saying, okay, every Wednesday night I've got this time set aside to do this video. It's like, well, not every Wednesday's free. Sometimes I go out and get food with friends, right? Like, you can't limit yourself and say that every Wednesday for the rest of your life is going to be a deck building video, because you're going to hate deck building in about 3.5 weeks. Right when you post, I'm going to do 2 every week.
Yeah. That's also one thing that I think is really important. For me, one of the biggest ways that I combat my own burnout, because I know that I'm the type of person that can burn out very easily. I try to change it up, right? 1 week it'll be the normal deck list content. I'll do 2 of those. The next week it'll be all about shorts, right? I'm gonna make a haters guide or 2. I'm gonna make I'm excited about the new Mega set, let's say. I'll make a couple of videos talking about, like, hey, this is some theory crafting on the new Mega set. And I do my best to just make sure that I'm alternating between my content. 1 week it's videos, 1 week it's shorts, 1 week it's live streams, 1 week it's just focus on community building, right? That was my focus of this week, is just building up my Discord by having tournaments and stuff. And so that's another way that I would recommend anybody can fight their own burnout, is just by changing it up. Just keep it fresh for yourself. Like, and from that's from a content creator perspective, but you can also do this at an individual level. Change it up. Hop on a deck that you're not familiar with, or even play a different game. That's how.
I feel like what you just described, everybody, whether you're a content creator or not, has experienced this at some point in their life with a workout regimen.
Yep.
Every human being has burned out of their workout regimen. If you haven't, you're straight up lying right now watching this video. I'm sorry. You have quit the gym at one point in your life. We all have, right? It's just how it works, because we burn out on repetitive activities.
I never have, because I don't go to the gym. Let's go.
Hey, what's good? No, I say that because for me, a lot of this time down not doing YouTube, I've spent also trying to bolster my health, right? And so for me, a big point in my life is if I'm not doing something passion project like YouTube, or in fact, if people are interested, I have quite a bit of music on Spotify from my time making music back in the day when I was younger.
Do you actually?
And yeah. So I have artist name of Stu with 2 U's. I've got a mixtape out with a couple of singles as well on Spotify. I'm really proud of my music and I love it. But it's another one of those things in my life where it was really fun. It was a passion project. However, music is very different than a Pokemon YouTube channel. It is the kind of thing where you have to kind of tell yourself, hey, is this just for fun or is this serious? Mm-hmm. I chose to do it for fun and say, I'm just going to do this when I feel like doing it. So I haven't made music again, but I still write. I still do music all the time. And those passion projects are things that are hard to burn out on unless you set the wrong stipulations on it, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what I had been doing with a lot of stuff. So like, when I'm not doing these passion projects, I'm really trying to focus on me, trying to make sure that, I'm the healthiest I could be, because that's going to help you also mentally, right? Staying healthy helps us stay focused, helps us stay on track with what we're working on. I think coming back into the TCG space, I'm in a lot better of a headspace to take it on.
Good.
Not that I was in like a horrible headspace coming into it the first time. It's just right. I have the experience of what it feels like when you start to burn out.
Right, and life comes up, and sometimes your life stuff is definitely more important than a couple of pieces of cardboard.
It always is. I will say this for sure, because I know a lot of people who are content creators are also in relationships. I'm in a very serious one, and eventually have my own family and do the awesome stuff together. That being said, those things are always more important than your YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, date night comes up on your recording night. Sorry, recording's gone. Yeah. I got a human being here in front of me that I love, and I'm never going to sacrifice that for the content. To me, though, again, going back to what I said before, I knew burnout was coming when I was just copping out of even doing anything for the week because it didn't work. Oh, Wednesday didn't line up. Okay, that's fine. I'll do it next week.
Right.
That's not the answer. Wednesday didn't work out. Fine, let's make time Thursday. Right? It took me 45 minutes today to record my intro to the deck list. I didn't super dive into the list. I didn't do all the stuff I used to. But honestly, most people watching the game don't need all of that. As long as the list is in your description to copy, right? Everything is pretty smooth. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It shouldn't take the time in my head that I was believing it takes to do this.
Yeah.
Ooh, actually, let me get this prep station. Don't start up yet.
For sure. Yeah.
Let's upgrade this thing.
Yeah, like one of the things that I realized was happening was for my haters guides videos, I noticed the quality.
I love.
Thank you. I noticed that the quality was starting to go down. Like my script writing was starting to become a little bit stale, and I was just like, you know what? I need to slow it down. I need to research the decks better, understand why people hate them. And really the sauce behind those is like just finding that passion in my heart for why I don't like those decks. And if I don't actually, if I actually don't feel anything towards the deck, I'm not going to make a video on it. So,
well, I don't think you should, right? I think that's a great mentality is, there are so many trends in content creation, and following them does not mean you will be successful.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, some people can do really raunchy content really well.
Yeah.
Just because your favorite YouTuber manages to do raunchy content really well doesn't mean it's going to go over well for you, right?
Right. Yeah. And people started comparing me to Trust Your Pilot after I started making those videos, and I'm like, I don't feel like.
Oh, well, that's who I was referencing as your favorite that can actually do it. He can do it. He's hilarious with his raunchy content. It's so funny, but that's Trust Your Pilot. Yeah. I would never come in and try and make his specific content because, like, why? He's so good at it. Yeah, I'll just watch his content for that.
Yeah, you don't need me to do that.
No, and I like his channel for that, right? And I think like the trends are so easy to get caught up in. Making your own path is going to take a lot longer, but it's a lot better. And I'm glad you brought up shorts several times because I think it's important that people realize you can never compare yourself to another creator no matter what. Because, dude, you're so successful with shorts. I never want to make shorts. I know in my head, I don't like that type of content creation. I don't want to make it. I don't want to produce it or edit it. And I don't have to because that's my option as a creator. But you're so successful in it that I kept telling myself, man, I've got to do these. Look at Chef killing it. Look at Chef killing it. That's because Chef kills it doing what Chef does, not what Stu does. And Stu's not going to kill it doing what Chef does either.
Yeah, and that is an important distinction too, because like, I decided to lean into my strengths, right? I think my strength as a content creator is my script writing, right? I don't think I'm a super entertaining guy, but I think I'm very good at writing scripts. And that's really what the shorts are. It's just like, it's a good script said angrily.
You have other shorts too, though. It's not all haters guides. Your shorts are good in general. You have high quality shorts, and I think that's like, it's one of those things you can't compare yourself and follow someone else's trend. Because just because you're getting thousands of views on your shorts, which by the way, congratulations. If people aren't aware, Chef is killing it in his data analytics.
Thank you. Yeah,
but dude, just because you are does not mean that I can manufacture stress in my head about something I don't even have to produce.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That, along with the biggest issue that I think anyone will experience, just don't bite off more than you can chew. The Creators Cup, I think, gave a lot of us the opportunity to bite off far more than we could chew because we just met every other creator in the space. And I was out there cooking ideas, messaging people, setting group chats. How am I going to do that while I'm also thinking about my daily life, while I'm also finding a new car to buy, while I'm also, you know what I mean? Like, you got to be realistic with yourself. And sometimes it's okay to say, I just can't handle anymore.
Can I have this?
Do you want that? Do you want that? Yeah, take that. I'm going to take a dining table. We'll upgrade the prep station.
Okay. That is another, I'm glad you mentioned that because I have noticed, other YouTubers, smaller YouTubers, have contacted me asking what my secret to success is, and they're like, I see you growing so much faster than me, and it's frustrating. And I'm like,
that's a weird message.
yeah, and it's like, I'm not doing anything that different, but I can tell you right now that if you come into it with that mentality, you're gonna burn out. Like, don't compare yourself to others. Don't measure your success against mine. I'm doing what I like, and I think people notice that, right? People notice that I'm having fun making my content still. And the moment that I stop having fun with my content is the moment people are going to stop watching, because people don't like, seeing people be very upset. I think about, I actually came into this with the thought that I'm replacing another YouTuber. There was a YouTuber who was in this space who stopped making content because he was kind of pressured off the internet after he got into some drama with another YouTuber. But before that, people were noticing that he was being very toxic in his games. Like, he was very actively like roasting his opponent's deck list, like saying like, "Oh man, this guy's just a meta slave. He's just doing what everyone else is doing." Like, he sounded like he was tired. And I'm like, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in seeing that.
Yeah.
So
how could you be, though? You are selling energy on YouTube, which, like, it sounds all woohoo and dumb, but like, that's why people come to your channel. They like or don't like the energy you're selling to them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, YouTube is way more than just a space where people pull it up to read a deck list to go play meta and win their games on ladder. YouTube, for me, oftentimes when I click that button on my phone, I'm laying on the couch after a day of work. I'm relaxing. I'm getting that time to myself, right? It might be a long drive back to see my parents or something. I listen to a deck list video. Mm-hmm. When I go to YouTubers in this space, it's way more than just to see the gameplay. Like, I'm a huge LDF fan. Always have been, always will.
Yeah,
I love the energy he puts out with it. He's pretty genuine. I never feel like he's giving me fake vibes.
Yeah, you can tell.
But I don't think that I'm necessarily watching him for like crazy meta plays all the time. I mean, he's the first to be like, yeah, I misplayed 5 times this game, right? And I think that's so much more important than being the guy calling people a meta slave. And I'll be honest, I might have said a couple of things or two about the Badu lock I was in this morning. But who wouldn't say a thing or two about Badu?
That's different. You're getting tilted because you can't play the game,
However, I did have a really great moment today playing by myself, recording this content, where I was like, you know what? We're looking really bad this game. This looks like a really losing position against Dragapult. But coming back to the game, I want to change my mentality to not feel the tilt and burnout as quickly. And I was like, it's okay if we lose this game, guys. Yeah. It's a hard matchup. It's a tough game. I ended up winning it. I kept my cool. I broke down the opponent in the exact way I needed to get it. And when I finished the video, I told everybody that's going to watch it, this is how I'm going to start doing stuff. It's not going to be 3 hard wins that I grind for to get on the ladder. It's just going to be me coming in, playing with a deck, and trying to show how you can make it happen. Keep your cool, make the plays you need. You're never out of a game, right? And that's who I would much rather be in the space than... I was angry at Dragapults, man. I was angry at Gardevoirs. And I get what you're saying about that YouTuber. I don't even think he knew he was doing it.
Yeah. And I think it's okay to get tilted in a match. Like, that happens all the time. Like, I've done it on stream before. Like, I've crashed out on stream before. It was after not finding an energy after 20 cards. It's just like, it happens. That's different.
No one crashes out like Snipe the Bench. My dog.
I love that guy.
Another person who in the space, you, CPU, and Snipe and LDF are the only creators I watch during my downtime. And it's not because I don't love other creators. I love so many other creators. I just, at the end of the day, if I was going to watch this content again, and I was going to get back into it in the way I was, it had to be me going to a channel to enjoy just the atmosphere that channel provides, right? And I think like you and Snipe are great examples of people who just, you're fun to watch, right? You guys you're not playing out of your minds, try hard every game. You're laughing, you're talking about stuff, and I think that's really important for the space as a whole. Because we're not necessarily talking about audience burnout, but that's a whole other side of burnout.
Yeah, and that's generally the reason why I play what I play, because like the meme decks are always going to be more fun to me, right? I can play a meta deck, but I won't have fun doing it, and so I don't see the point in making that content. You can find Azul, you can find other players who will make meta decks. You don't need me to do that. Like I'm here to play the funny and the stupid.
Yeah, which I think a lot of people do like anti-meta decks. I've specifically talked about I'm going to start producing VGC and singles content as well in Pokemon, because I like all forms of Pokemon battling, not just the card game. And anti-meta in that is like half of the whole YouTube space. Right? People solely want to play with their favorite Pokemon, because that's kind of the whole nature of this franchise that we're playing in, right? Like, whether Pikachu, the OG, is your favorite, Snorlax, or some legendary, at the end of the day, you probably want to build a deck with your favorite. You probably want to battle with your favorite. It's just all about having that association. Playing meta decks is tough, man.
The thing that comes to mind is
Dragapult's not.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, what? My bad.
I was gonna say, the thing that comes to mind is that one guy who like jumped in Pokemon Showdown with the Tyrant and just like clapped other teams with that. You know what I'm talking about?
I love stuff like that. I mean, I don't know who exactly you're talking about. There's a lot of people who do that kind of like meme gameplay of like, let me bring like unevolved Pokemon to it. I mean, dude,
all this
even Wolfie VGC, he won an entire tournament with unevolved Pokemon.
That's wild.
Dude literally won a VGC. I think he won. He might have gotten like top cut, but top cutting a tournament with unevolved Pokemon? My man brought Yanma to a tournament.
That's absolutely what I'd love to do with my content too. Is like I'd love to take meme content to a high level like that. That's one of my goals.
Well, unfortunately, the viewers are not going to get to hear your amazing statement yesterday on the podcast, but please, on this video, let the viewers know the deck that you will be taking to Worlds in your first invite.
Oh yeah, no, if I make it to Worlds, I'm taking Palafin. Because it's the deck that I made my channel with, and my goal is to get to Worlds. My goal is not to win Worlds. If I get there, I'm taking a meme deck, because my whole content was like founded on the premise that you don't have to play meta to play at a high level, and I'm gonna stick with that. That is my goal. Like, have fun with the game, please. I beg you. I beg everyone watching, have fun with the game.
Yeah, I almost wish that I had found your Palafin list before I found the Palafin list that like got me more into the game. That was one of the very first decks that I built, because I was like, wow, this is really crazy. And I thought the Weavile combo was really fun too, of course. But I love that, man. In fact, one of my favorite creators of all time on YouTube, his name is That's a Plus One. He is a VGC and singles content creator. His whole thing is, I'm gonna get an invite to Worlds, and you're gonna see some crazy Pokemon on my team when you watch it.
Nice.
And that's awesome, dude. He took Mewtwo. Like, he's absolutely prepared to try and win with a Mewtwo.
Is that not considered good?
Yeah, so I mean, similar to how Mewtwo is in our game, I guess there is, Mewtwo is a Pokemon, right? It exists.
Don't you say. Mewtwo is my goat right now.
Dude, I gotta tell you, I'm very grateful you told me to check that deck out, because that was fun, dude.
It's one of the most fun gameplay loops that I've had in Pokemon in a while.
As someone coming back from burnout because of the ladder, and my first deck video was fighting a Dragapult, I was pretty happy to have Mewtwo.
I'm glad. I'm very happy to hear you say that, because that's the reason why I'm taking it to Pittsburgh, is because, not because it's good, but because it's fun and I enjoy the loop. And that's one thing that, like, we were trying to find my deck. I went through Blissey, I went through, a couple of, Marnie's Grimmsnarl. It's like, they're okay, but Mewtwo brings me the most enjoyment, so I'm gonna play that. And
yeah, I think the deck has merit, though. Yeah. I think, like, there are just so many plays in it and so many ways that you could manage to pull out crazy wins. Like the line against Dragapult feels great.
Yes. Yeah.
It is definitely scary against Dragapult Noir, but what isn't scary against Dusknoir right now, dude?
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, that's kind of the note I wanted to leave on. Is you have any like closing thoughts as we try to wrap this up? My closing thought mostly is just have a good time with the game. You know, don't take it too seriously. If you're having fun, that's really at the end of the day what I want for everyone.
Yeah, I would say embrace burnout and listen to it. Right? I one time, a very long time ago, watched a TED talk on like people treating schizophrenia by listening to the voices to figure out what the stressors in their life were. Burnout's your brain telling you you're stressed about something. Listen to it. Communicate with it. Ask yourself, why am I burning out? Why am I feeling this way? Because once you solve that answer, you're going to get right back into it.
For sure.
So that's my answer. Treat your burnout by accepting it. Listen to it. You know, ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? And you'll get out of it. It's okay to burn out.
Yeah.
If you don't burn out, you might be a little crazy, actually.
That's true. I couldn't imagine playing Destiny for the last 11 years without experiencing burnout even once. Luckily, I've avoided it with this game so far, even though we are in potentially one of the worst metas that I can remember. I'm still cruising because, you know, like I am controlling how I interact with the game. So that's important.
So that's the key, is controlling how we take it. I think especially as content creators, like it's so easy to tell yourself you're doing it wrong. And there is no script to doing it right or wrong. It's just how it makes you feel. And if it makes you feel happy, the people watching will be happy. You know, it's that simple. But burning out is not a bad thing. That's my last note to leave out on. It's a-okay to burn out.
For sure, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you for hopping on here. You know, I kind of contacted you on short notice because you mentioned that you were back in the game, so I wanted to talk to you about that. And your insight has been super helpful. I appreciate you a lot, man.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. I hope it helps some people too, because like this is firsthand, experiential. I just went through the burnout heavily, and like I told you in a message earlier, shout out to your community, because when I posted last night that I was getting back into it, dude, the love I got immediately was just awesome. It was like, hey, welcome back, man. We're happy to see you. That's awesome.
Yeah, my people have been asking about you, so I'm glad to hear from you.
I think we're going out. No! What a time to end it. We got two into the combo. Man, thanks for having me on here, as always. Sure. Excited for the mega tournament coming end of September. I'm going for the dub.
That's correct. September 30th. Come through. You know, find our Discord. It's going to be linked in the description below.
I got a 5 code card bounty on whoever beats my deck, because I don't think anyone beats me.
Ooh, like to see it. Yes, there is a cash prize at the end of that too. So jump in, find the September Cook-Off channel, and I'll see you there. Thank you all for watching.
Peace.